If you want to own a house like this, you need to follow a specific set of steps. These steps have been proven to work for a lot of people. A lot of people aren't willing to make the sacrifices in order to get something like this done. See, my experience in selling homes like these, there's a heavy down payment or there's a lot of cash that's being transferred into the home. And a lot of people think that the people that actually own homes like this actually make a ton of money. They make hundreds of thousands of dollars or up to millions of dollars a year. Nope. They make money. Their house makes money. I know it sounds weird, but let me explain this better. First, they bought an apartment like this, then something like this, and then finally this. It's easier said than done, and it will take a long time, but it's a proven process, and we're gonna get into that right now. But first, I'm gonna keep it real with you guys, so just keep it real with me. If you're looking to buy or sell here in the Santa Clarita area, greater LA area, or even Ventura County, I have teams in both areas that can help you out. So email me, text me, call me, whatever it is, my team and I are here to help you. All my information is down below. Your very first home purchase is extremely important. It dictates how long it will take you to get into that dream home. This experience allows you to grow equity. I know that we all want things out of our home, but this is where patience, compromise, and delayed gratification comes into play, because you want to be conscious of how much you're going to be paying as a down payment and how much you're going to be paying monthly for your mortgage. If you want to get into that next home quickly, that upgrade quickly, you want to make sure that you're going below your budget and you're purchasing in an area that's in high demand. Buy an apartment like this. They are great homes, they're great starters, they're less expensive, and they're always in demand. They sell fairly quickly, but the compromise that you're gonna have here is the fact that there's less space in and outside the home. Traffic is gonna suck, but it's a great start, and they're typically not gonna be in the greatest area, but you're gonna save money. Or let's say that's a little bit too much compromise for you. You wanna get something like this. You wanna get a townhome. You wanna start like that. It's a lot better suited for younger families, and it's gonna have a lot more luxuries to it. So there's that, but the caveat to that is that it's gonna be more expensive. It's gonna be heavier on your pocket, which may delay the time that it's gonna take for you to be able to get into that dream home. So just keep that in mind. Let's say you start off with a smaller apartment or condo like this one. That's fine. The idea here is just to get started. You build equity here, you save enough money for the closing costs for this property and the next property, as well as the down payment on that next property. But we'll go over all that in a little bit. The idea here is to save money while you're living in apartments like this. Let's say those savings are up to $500. That will allow you to save a lot more money and eventually get into something like a townhome, but with way less stress on your wallet. And you do the same thing with this home here. You're patient and you follow your plan. At this point, you're probably getting a great feel as to what homeownership really feels like, because it's completely different from renting and there's a lot more responsibilities tied to home ownership. And that's really another underlying thing behind all of this as well, because it's difficult for you to go from renting to straight up home ownership. It's a completely different level of responsibility, and for some people, it's a little bit too overwhelming. And home ownership is a completely different video in and of itself. After a couple years, you save up enough money for the closing costs on your townhome and the closing costs for your new home and the down payment for purchasing your new dream home, where you get to enjoy the fruits of your labor. All your hard work has finally paid off. You're here. Okay, I mentioned before that you need to save enough money for your closing costs and your down payment, but how do you really do that? Let me break it down for you guys just a little bit. When purchasing a home, the closing costs comprise of a couple different things, okay? The cost to actually acquire the loan, the cost for inspections, cost for a title, and the cost for actually opening up escrow. So all of those things make up the closing costs, which is about 2% of the purchase price of the home. If you need a full breakdown of everything with the closing costs, if you need help with the money stuff, go follow my buddy Alex's channel. He just started his YouTube channel, but he is a co-owner of Romeo Echo Home Loans, so he does all the money stuff for us. He does all the numbers for us and he figures everything out. He's the only guy I refer my business over to, if that gives you a warm and fuzzy. For when you're selling your home, the closing costs are going to be a little bit different. You're not paying those loan origination fees, but you will more than likely be expected to keep the home up to date on any government requirements, depending on the loan type of your buyer. And maybe there's repairs that need to be done to the home in order for your buyer to feel comfortable with purchasing the house. So keep that in mind. Keep a little bit of a budget. Go over this with your agent at that time, because they'll be able to see whether or not some things are going to be requested or not. You should have an expectation of this before you get into escrow. But how can you save money while you're still in the home? It's by actually purchasing below your means. So let's say comfortably you can pay $3,000. Maybe it's a good idea for you to actually purchase something that's going to cost you $2,500 and take that $500 and put it into a separate account. Automatically put it into that account. Maybe it's a high yield savings account or an investment account. Whatever it is, the idea here is to make sure that that money makes you more money. So whatever you do is up to you. Just don't make an excuse of utilizing the money. You got to save that money. So the whole concept here is that you're going to save enough money for the closing costs on the original home. You're going to save enough money for the closing costs on the new home. And you're going to also save enough money for the down payment on that new house as well. And all that money is comprised of that $500 a month that you saved and the equity that you've built over time. I mentioned this throughout the video, but you want to make sure that you're purchasing a home that has a high probability of selling and selling for more than what you actually purchased it for. Over time, you're going to be paying down the loan, but over time, you want to make sure that the value of your home is actually growing, making the gap between what you owe and what it's worth much bigger over time. So go into an area that's expanding, that has infrastructure going into the area or has businesses moving into that area. Santa Clarita happens to be one of those areas because of the proximity to Los Angeles and the amount of new construction that's coming into the area. With that, if you purchase a home today, the home is going to be worth more tomorrow, which is definitely what you want. If you are having a little bit of trouble figuring out which neighborhood is right for you and your family, click on this video. I break it all down. And I also created a brand new pros and cons video. It's an updated version of the original video. Click on it right here. And if you're not already subscribed, I'm going to have it somewhere here. Just make sure to subscribe. I got you.